So I think we made it.
Are we live or not?
Yeah, that's always the $1,000,000 question. If anybody can hear us, please type into the live chat that you hear us. And until that moment, we'll sit here and hope that somebody hears us.
Okay.
Because, we're college students, man.
Hey, it's all good.
Yeah.
Sound is audible. Screen is visible. If only we could smell it. Thank you, Dave Rush.
Dave Rush is in a good mood. I'm in a bad mood this morning.
He's in a great mood.
No, I'm in
Hi.
a bad mood. Crabby.
Welcome to the AMA with Mike Meyers, the living legend.
I need more coffee.
I'm Scott Jernigan, a frequent co-author, editor-in-chief for Total Seminars, and a
Bon vivant, raconteur, obsequious popinjay.
what? I resemble that remark.
Absolutely. So, should we do what is it, Wednesday? Wednesday edition?
Yeah, absolutely.
Of the Mike Meyers COVID virus live stream, Ask Mike Anything. Boy, that sounds like a Microsoft title, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Or a McGraw-Hill title. What's the name of the security? Oh, my gosh. Hey, Michael Smyer, would you grab a book for me? We have big news.
It's right behind you.
Oh, I do have. Oh, I do. Never mind. You're safe. After a long wait, there it is, folks. Here, let me put my finger over Scott Jernigan's name more effectively. There we go. That's it. So the Security Plus 601 book is out at better bookstores everywhere. That was the longest book it ever took me to rewrite. I'm blaming COVID.
I'm blaming me.
No, I'm going to blame COVID. Okay, well, it's all Scott Jernigan's fault. Well, welcome for you new folks. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies for CompTIA certifications. So, in particular, we do A+, Net+, Security+, although we can certainly move outside of that, both in CompTIA and non-CompTIA certifications as well. But we have to treat those on a case-by-case basis because we stay in our lane for the most part.
Right.
All right. But, we can make up anything we want to.
So you can ask us anything. We stay away from religion and politics. Not that we don't discuss them amongst ourselves, but on the live stream, just to keep it a little less contentious. So, hey, who do we have here today, Mike?
I'm just looking. I got Gyro still working on your stuff. I'm going to keep it top secret. I'm not sure what he wants me to tell the world him and I are doing together. Mike, what is my average typing speed? I'm an advanced hunt and peck. I can use 4 fingers instead of 2. I never bothered to learn how to type. Patricia's here. John F. Derp NZ. That sounds like a new name, is it? Derp NZ, are you new? Zach is here. Crazy Homebody Guru. Yeah. Zach Andrew Hutz, of course. And we are missing some of the usual suspects here. Oh, there they are. They're just not saying anything much. Okay, guys, so basically here's how this works for you new guys. What you do is you ask me questions. You ask questions, just type them right here into the chat. Now, on the chat, what I do is you'll see up at the top, it'll probably say live chat. Switch it to, it says top chat, switch it to live chat.
Right.
And that will definitely help. I'll be referencing timestamps as we hit questions because questions usually come far faster than I can answer them. So I'm usually a little bit behind, but oh, wait, it's fun. What did I promise? I promised today we were going to do trim. We're not going to do trim, but we are going to do digital signatures.
Okay.
And really talk in more detail about how digital signatures work. And I've put together a nice little presentation for you guys. Do keep in mind that part of this AMA is that you guys are guinea pigs. And I invent stuff, and a lot of times I try things out here that may never see the light of day, or usually does if I think it's good. So the bottom line is that you are my little guinea pigs. So if I come up with a new teaching methodology or whatever it might be, you guys get to see it first, good or bad. Although I think this one's pretty good.
All right. And it'll be totally relevant for the book that we're writing about, but we can't talk about right now. The latest Net Plus.
Also relevant for Security Plus too, but definitely Net Plus. No argument there at all. CLW Chang. CLW Chang won big time on Monday.
Monday, absolutely.
Back slathering for more, no doubt.
Excellent.
There's only 40 people in here, man. I can, and half of those people are idiots.
I can win this contest.
1 in 20 odds. Why not?
Right?
Red TB3 has changed his name.
Again?
It's Red Tuber 330, unless that's not the same person.
That's the same person.
How do you know that?
Because he changed it on Monday.
Oh. Well, never mind then.
Well, there we go.
Bitch. Okay, Hardware Magazine, loud and clear. I get that. There's a name. I was like, what's your YouTube name? Hardware Magazine.
I like it.
You
it
think
has a certain visual to it.
Yeah, it's like, so what's your YouTube name? Bagel Bakery. I don't know. I'm trying to go with something like this. Give me a break. Jeez.
Hey, Mike.
Yes?
Don't quit your day job.
Don't quit my day job. All
Yeah.
right. So basically, guys, the onus is on you to ask me questions. So we start at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and we will run till 4 o'clock or until the questions run out. So it's really up to you. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, even though this is really not a money thing. The marketing people tell me I have to do like and subscribe. Do you know why I'm doing like and subscribe? They said something about advertising. I don't.
The like and subscribe, what it really does is it means that people later can more easily search in the archives and find the stuff we talk about.
Is that it?
That's it.
See, I don't. Okay, whatever.
And it makes me all warm and fuzzy.
Good, then
inside
you
when
get to
people
say it all the time.
When people say, "Oh, we like
You
you,"
get to say it as much as you want, Scoot. Scoot Jernigan. What is my average typing speed? That is hilarious. I've never actually measured my typing speed.
I'm somewhere over 100. I learned to type
You're so cool.
on a manual typewriter.
All right, so I do see some new names here. I'm already at 205. Peace in says hello. Was
Okay.
Peace in before? I can't.
Absolutely. PC's been, yeah.
SA, I'm a cybersecurity and digital forensic student, second year here in the UK. I have some IT experience, planning to take the SI 601 in July. Which certs roadmap do you recommend to start? I mean, I don't know you, right? I mean, SA, that's always a big challenge with this type of thing. We have some roadmap stuff. I keep trying to do a roadmap, but I got to be honest. I'm having more and more challenges coming up with a roadmap that I really respect, at least in terms of IT security. Anyway, what I would probably recommend for most people, if you can swear with your right hand that you're never going to be doing individual system work, then you could probably skip A+ and start with Network+. I don't see anybody going into security who can skip CompTIA Network+. It's just way too engrossing in terms of the details and so many topics that are on the CompTIA Security Plus, which to me is the most entry-level security certification there is. Even though a lot of the topics on Network Plus are not on Security Plus, there are many topics in Security Plus that just assume that you know what a DHCP server is. It just assumes you know what a PIP is. It just assumes private versus public IP addressing. And even with our book, we say right up front that we assume that you have Network Plus or the equivalent knowledge.
Right.
Otherwise, this book would be twice as thick. Just repeating that stuff over and over again.
Yep.
So at least in terms of, for somebody who wanted to get an IT security, Network Plus, Security Plus, where would we go from there? CYSA, CASP?
Yeah, or Pen Test Plus.
Okay. I like the CYSA, CASP because they're really more of a vulnerability, more of an insider type thing and talk about the same tools. In fact, one of the things I would love to do, and I should do this, is compare CYSA versus Pen Test Plus. Because I've never done it. And to me, it would seem that they would be
complementary,
if not dang near identical. Well, I mean, the Pen Test Plus, what we talk about, how to get permissions, capture the flag, red team versus blue team kind of stuff.
Sure.
But it's the same tools. Vulnerability assessment and pen test use basically the same tools.
So SA, I also put in the feed a link to CompTIA's certification roadmap. CompTIA has put together a pretty nice guide that can at least give you some options.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. That's why I don't push that particular thing. Mainly because I think CompTIA weights themselves on it far too heavily. And in particular, I don't think that they really take a good look at, GISA, ISACA. And I know they're in there, but I don't get warm and fuzzies the way that they structure it. It's just a matter of opinion.
Okay.
JBabyX. I spent literally all day trying to understand subnet mask. I think I understand it, but I'm still not 100%. Well, let's make it easy. Let's start with that one. JBaby, a subnet mask is how an individual, first off, every individual host has to have a subnet mask, okay? So if you have a chunk of data, that chunk of data has an IP address where it's going, right? An IP address where it's come, probably from you, but you've got to send it out to the real world. So is this piece of data for a local machine on your local area network, or is it something that needs to go out your router? It makes a big difference because people forget this, but IP packets have to live inside some kind of frame. Normally in local area networks, that's going to be an Ethernet frame. Right. Maybe if it's wireless, it's 802.11 frame, which, to be honest with you, an 802.11 frame and an Ethernet frame, at least in terms of the big chunks, are pretty much identical. I mean, there's obviously going to be some differences, but 802.11 has MAC addresses just like Ethernet has MAC addresses. DOSIS has arguably a MAC address, cable modems, that type of thing. So in order for your host to send this to the right thing, it's either going to have to send the MAC address for a local computer, and that turns it into an Ethernet frame, which sends it to the individual host, or if it ain't a local call, it has to go out to the router. But people forget routers have Ethernet ports that have Ethernet MAC addresses.
Right.
And you have to put the router's MAC address on your Ethernet frame to get it to the router. Right. So here's the question. Computer, here's your IP address. Is this a local call? In that case, you can just go out and shoot out an ARP, which will then, whoever has the right MAC address will respond back. Or you're just going to have to send it to the router. And then, in fact, you have to ARP the router too. Either way. And that's really the main thing a subnet mask does. A subnet mask allows an individual computer to determine whether it's a local call or a long distance call that goes to the router. That's the big difference. So what you're going to have to do now, JBabies, you have to ask me some questions based on what I just said in order for me to
go deeper.
Yeah, I would. So JBaby, I hope that helps, but let's see what it says. Saido, bait it, good man. Saido, you have to come all the time until I say otherwise. No, he does. We talked on the phone.
Really?
Oh yeah, him and me, we're tight as ticks. Oh yeah,
like that. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
So, and guys, and also remember, JBaby, when we're talking about subnet masks, that doesn't mean we're talking about subnetting. All right. I'm sorry that the same terms are used, but they're different animals. Looking, so anytime it gets quiet here, it's because Scott and I are looking for questions in the live chat. Mr. G, I know.
So,
I'm
we
Mr.
have the
G. Sorry, I'm singing.
We have the timestamp turned on. You can turn yours on in the feed. That way you can see where we are in the questions. And you can see whether we saw your question or whether we skipped it, and if we do accidentally skip a question, because this happens, then post it again, but you don't need to repeat the question if we haven't even gotten to the first instance of it. So turn on the timestamp by using the vertical ellipses. You like that? The 3 dots.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 shells. See if Tolowin will be there to catch that movie reference. All right, Tazzy5 had something. Okay, I'm not saying anything on the air. I'm not going to. Really, literally by saying that, I kind of Streisand affect that poor person. People are like, why is he saying that? And they're scrolling around trying to find what Tazzy said.
Don't say that on air. Nice. So we're at
Ryan Randaria. That's definitely a new name. Hey, Ryan. And we are. I already said we're going to do digital signatures today.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That one I got. Andrew Hutz 211. Mike, I have a working Intel motherboard and a 3rd gen i5 to match. Cool. What should I do with it? Use it. I mean, old in terms of what? You're going straight to the gaming issue, Andrew. All right. A 3rd gen i5. Probably be fine.
be fine as long as the
3rd
video
gen
card's
would
good.
be DDR4, so you're okay there.
Yeah. As long as the video card's good.
Yeah, I mean, I got to think hard. Difference between different generations of i5, not that much difference. Well, take out the 1st generation for sure. Oh well. You're fine. 3rd gen i5 does not make it that old. Enjoy your computer. Use it. The other thing is I don't understand. There's so many people, especially who play with systems, are like, well, all my computers are basically gaming computers. In their soul.
All of mine are, for sure.
Well, mine aren't. I've got a lot of systems running. I'll use even onboard graphics, but I'm not going to game with those, right? I mean, they're going to be... Well, I mean, look at my home theater system. I'm pushing a Raspberry Pi, pushing an entire home theater system. But I'm not going to game on it,
Well, even my Linux test bench
Oh, good Lord.
has a gaming video card and a hot processor.
I have trouble. I mean, not as bad as I used to, but running into Linux systems, especially with super high-end graphics cards, I've had issues.
Well, drivers are certainly can be.
It's a lot better than it used to be.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot better than it used to be. But I'm not gonna throw a good graphics card in a Linux box.
Why not?
No, because I got better things to do with my Linux box, like make it a hypervisor, or make it an NAS.
I do that too.
You have an NAS at your house?
I do. It's actually a standalone box.
All right. Okay. Maven Feliciano. Okay, so hey, Mike and Scott. Before beginning, my question is there a Linux loopback address or something similar? No, there's not a Linux loopback address. There's just a loopback address, and it's 127.0.0.1 for IPv4, and it's ::1 for IPv6. Just because it's Linux doesn't change these addresses. So 127.0.0.1 works just as fine on a Linux box as it does on Windows or anything else. Does it work with the web browser like in Windows? Oh, I see what he's asking. Yes, Maven, if you're running a web server on a local system, you can... I don't know every single web server software out there, but I would, with a high degree of confidence, that you could type http://loopback or http:// 127.0.0.1, or just type in 127.0.0.1 in a browser, and if you have a functional web browser on that system, it should come up. As a matter of fact, I think I got one on here. Let's give it a whirl. 127. Now, I don't have Linux as the... Yeah, okay, so... Oh, boy. Here, all right. Everything's turning up for size. Should we risk this, Scott?
Risk it. So, on Monday, the sound cut out when we went with the overlay.
All right, so here, this is a Windows system, but I could be on a Linux system and do the same thing. And I've just got the Hello World from IIS in here. I've got the simple IIS browser built in, so it would come up. And it would work exactly the same with a Linux box. There'd be no difference there.
And Dave confirmed that sound with the overlay worked fine, so that's cool. Good to know. Thank you, Dave. So in the background, we have Dave Rush, our senior instructor at Total Seminars, who is helping and monitoring the feed and also being the moderator. So if people do naughty things, he'll ban you because, that's how we roll. But also being helpful and sending me chats in the background, which is cool. So very much appreciated. So at 209, CLW Chang had a quick question about the Ray Nutting Pen Test Plus book that is advertised for sale on the Total Seminars website. It's another in the all-in-one certification series from McGraw-Hill. We're just a reseller of that book, since we also have practice exams and videos to go with it. So it's just a book we recommend.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a good book. And Ray Nutting's a good guy. I've not spoken or communicated with him directly, but his reputation precedes him.
Yep.
And so we work with McGraw-Hill. If we're not writing the book, but we're doing videos or we're doing practice questions, and we try to put all that together.
Absolutely.
I'm always looking to put those three things together. Practice questions, video, and a book. Practice questions, video, and a book. Because it helps you guys pass, you know.
Which is the goal, right?
That's why. No, our goal is to get a job. Working.
No, I just want the paper, man. I just want the paper.
Yeah.
So we are looking for questions. Tell the wit. I don't hunt and peck. I have typos per minute.
I know that feeling.
And I super scrolled. Nice.
Zach Morrill, I can swear with any bone in my body, haha. Well, Zach is he's a Brit. I would love to see Zach with a couple of beers in him get mad. I'd think I wouldn't be able to understand a word he's saying. It's like that Robin Williams shtick about meeting people from Scotland. Zach, I know you're not from Scotland, but you know it's what? Oh, I can't even do it because it's full of expletives. Because you know, cursing doesn't happen.
Not on this feed.
God, I remember back in the 70s, we always used to make jokes about all the conservative people who held us back and, you know, and all that. We were like, freedom, power to the people. It's going to come back with a vengeance pretty soon.
Maybe.
What have you fed me?
Coffee.
If this is coffee, get me some tea. If this is tea, get me some coffee. All right.
Strong coffee.
Okay. All right.
The right kind.
Scott, come on. I mean, how much do I pay you?
Okay, $212.
7-figure income. Just to...
$212.
There you go.
Silas Ozori says, "Greetings, Mike and Scott. Been a while.
Yep. Hey,
How are
Silas,
you
good
two
to see
doing?
you, man.
We're vaccinated, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
So how are we doing? We're doing great.
Yeah.
We're here and we can actually unmask in each other's presence and not fear.
We're fine, thank you, Silas. So, no look, yeah, should probably just start out as a help desk, shouldn't I? Well, I got to tell you, first of all, that everybody's seeking IT security jobs. Again, Silas, I'm surely you're aware of Jessica Dickerson's wonderful "How to Get an Entry-Level IT Security Job" video we did. That was 4 months ago now, maybe even 5.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have had great success kind of following along with Jessica Dickerson's ideas. And I was surprised how many entry-level IT security jobs were out there.
Right.
Now, we were concentrating in the Houston area, but I am hopeful and confident that you could recreate that as long as you're not in a little tiny town. But then it's like, should I just start out as help desk? You need to be working. You have to be working. You have to work. You know, you're not in a position in your life where you can be picky, okay? Most certification is done on evenings and weekends because you already have a job. And you take certifications to help you get towards the next place you want to be, okay? So I get nervous, and Silas, I'm not saying you're doing this, but I get nervous when I hear people go, well, I need to get these 3 certifications, and then suddenly, magically, I'll be able to get a job. That's not accurate.
Right.
You know, you have to go to work. Here in Houston, if nobody could do anything right now, good old Samsung, they have in the Galleria, they have like pretty cool store, like an Apple store, but it's for Samsung stuff.
Why would you want to do that?
Because it starts you off at $19 an hour, I think.
Okay, well that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't mean,
I'm just saying to get a job.
to get a job, absolutely. But
You know?
don't buy a Samsung phone, buy an Apple phone. Paper, not plastic. My gosh.
So I was at the Whole Foods recently,
Yeah.
and this girl comes up and she's like, "So, do you want paper or plastic?" And I go, "Do you have any bags made out of baby seal skin?" Which I thought was hilarious. She did not find that humorous at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely microaggressioned her. You know what? I think that girl deserved a microaggression.
Maybe. Because paper or plastic?
Yeah, that she did. Paper or plastic? I want something made out of baby seals. You know? Well, I want some of the club marks in it still.
Oh, okay.
So it's actually...
That was over the top.
No, it's not.
That was way over the top.
So Jessica Dickerson, who did that wonderful...
Sure.
She's been on, and she'll be on again. Jessica lived in Alaska.
Right.
And so, you know, the native people harvest seals for like food and clothing and, you know.
Sure.
You know, and you get Jessica, she'll start going, man. It's like, well, why don't you just get a gun and shoot them? And she's like, baby seals are this much fur and this much baby seal. She's very into this, you know. It's like,
Okay.
why we need a club? It's interesting.
Okay, it's interesting.
Oh my God.
Will it get you a job?
Well, maybe in Alaska, you know. You might know the right, you know, Inuits up there, you know.
Just hanging out.
So what do you do? I make clubs for a living, you know. Why does it say Louisville Slugger? Okay, now I'll stop.
Right. Okay, 214. Daniel Wilson has a legitimate question. Are the Network Plus simulations you have on the Total Sim site similar to what you will see on the test? Yes. Yes. They're very similar. We have other simulations that are more informational. It's just another way of helping you learn the subject materials. So, for example, we have our show simulations and our click simulations, which simply show you how to do something and then make you, in the click, have to click on things with the right menus and stuff to be able to learn things. So those are informational. The challenges are very much like what you'll see on the exams, as are the command line ones, the type.
So well, and Scott's absolutely right. But Daniel, I'm going to add to that because his last sentence is, "I am most nervous about the simulations." I have known a lot of people who don't even do the simulations and pass the exam. Now, am I recommending you do that? Of course not. Let's not use the word simulations, all right? Performance-based questions, all right? So performance-based questions are going to be 3, 4, 5 of these questions at the very beginning. They're the first questions you get. And, you know, you do your best to them. The only thing I can tell you, what makes me nervous about performance-based questions is that people can spend way too much time on them because they're the first questions. And, you know, spend 3, 4 minutes per question, tops, and move on.
Because you only have 90 minutes to answer around 90 questions. So if you spend 10, 15 minutes on the performance-based questions, you're going to...
Or each performance-based question.
Yeah, you're gonna doom yourself.
Yeah, so... What's next, Scott? I've got 11 having you here, man. It's like, feed me my next question, Beulah. I will sit here with my pinky out as I drink my coffee.
So I might have scrolled past, but at 217, EMH asks, is it possible to set up an active and a passive server in different geological?
Where's the question? What's the timestamp?
217.
Geographical? Oh, I see it. EMH. Is it possible to set up an active and passive server in different geological locations? I think what he's trying to say here is, can you set up different points of presence for the same server? And the answer is absolutely yes. In fact, that's one of the most powerful aspects to cloud. But it's not like one server is active and one is passive. They're all, let's just say, peers. And there's a lot of groovy things that your cloud providers can do in terms of, you know, either keeping all these different web servers up to speed and balanced, for lack of a better term. But The answer is you absolutely can do it, and that's one of the main reasons that the cloud is so popular, is that you suddenly find that you're big in Japan, and you can go ahead and suddenly, like Amazon can easily start bringing up servers that are more geographically closer to your clients. And so that reduces latency and blah, 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 that kind of a thing. Zach Morrill. So I'm going to be looking for a new ATX case. What bargain would you recommend? I already have a recommendation from Andrew Hutz. For a case? I mean, the only thing I really worry about, so I guess we're talking about desktop cases. You know, I always have like one show-off case, you know, with lots of glass on it and lots of RGB and all that stuff. But to be honest with you...
And really poor cable management.
Cable management is for wimps. As long as I've got airflow, I do not care about cable management. And for the record, Scott Jernigan, I am getting better in my dotage. Especially because now we have lots and lots of cases.
That have the cable management built in.
Yeah. So it makes it easier. But to be honest with you, unless you're really doing something fairly hairy in a system, you don't have airflow issues, and I don't think you have cable management issues. In fact, I think cable management is less of an issue now than it's ever been before, because back in the day we had optical media and multiple drives and a floppy disk and, you know, all these, and they were all parallel cables. It was a big ribbon cables and all that.
Big wide cables.
And to me, the biggest cable management issue I run into anymore is RGB. All my little lights got to have their own little shibity choops and shibity shangs, you know?
Those are technical terms.
Yeah, no, this is the technical term there, kids. And so to me, that's where the biggest cable management comes into all the extra stuff. You can get a perfectly functional, good case these days for $40 or even less. Because the other place for getting cases is some of the old computers. Just
$40?
Easily. No, there's no power supply, right? But, you know.
Okay. I spend a lot more on cases than that.
Well, it's because Scott is, you know.
They have to look good.
Yeah, I do not care. It is better to feel good than to look good, darling. You know?
I don't.
No, you know, it's kind of... Oh, but you do. Honestly, I know lots of people. I have recycled cases. Some of them are approaching 20 years old. Those old 1030 cases. Remember those?
Yeah.
Still runs like a champ, you know, rolled edges. They were like the first people to do rolled edges. I was like, wow, I can work on a case and not carve my fingers apart.
Right?
You know? Now it's like...
I have bled so much for this industry.
I have bled for the industry.
So at 218, Jean Durival asks, hey, Mike, do you create courses for certs other than Security Plus, A Plus, and Net Plus?
So you got to be careful when you say the word create. Total Seminars creates lots of different courses. I have chosen to limit myself pretty much to A Plus, Net Plus, and Security Plus, mainly because you guys may find this surprising, but writing books and shooting videos is really hard.
And time consuming.
And you know, so.
But we do have courses on Pen Test Plus, on
Active Directory,
AWS certifications,
blockchaining,
yeah,
all kinds of stuff. You really, and I work with the SMEs, so don't go thinking that we're just bringing in some schlubs. We got some great folks out there.
Absolutely. Dr. Michael Solomon, Tom Carpenter.
Michael Solomon owes me money, man. Solomon, you owe me $3. $3. But so no, we do tons of other stuff, and I'd recommend a quick tour to TotalSem.com will expose you to a always growing catalog of amazing courses and instructors. I don't like the word SME. They're instructors.
They are instructors.
A subject matter expert is somebody who knows a subject. An instructor is somebody who teaches you those subjects.
Okay, I can go with that.
So, you know, I know lots of SMEs who couldn't instruct their way out of a bag made out of baby seals. You know, Scott, how much trouble Scott is going to give me about saying, oh, you talked about baby seals.
Mike.
Liberal tears. You're not even that liberal.
They're
but,
progressive tears. Come on.
They're even better.
Oh, there's no politics. Here we go.
Dang it.
I'd have to buy Super Scrolled again.
That's just kind of, it's a feature.
It is a feature. Where was
EMH, so, okay, is it possible to set up active and passive server in different geological locations? And then he texted later, if so, how? I don't know. I mean, you know, this is one of these things where it's like, people are like, so Mike, is it possible to run windshield wipers on a Mercedes-Benz 280 SLK? And if so, how? It's like, well, you know, okay, I own a Mercedes-Benz 280 SLK. But the thing is that the important thing is that you understand that windshield wipers work, okay? And you understand the windshield wipers, you can do the squirty water thing, right?
Right.
Or the intermittence, or all that type of
yours
stuff.
has squirty water?
Well, you know, it is a Mercedes. So, and then you learn how windshield wipers work, and then no matter what car you go up to, you poke around a little bit and you figure out how to do it.
Right.
I do not know how to go over to Amazon Web Services and set up multiple, I don't even think they're called points of presence. They've got a better name than that. Michael Smyer, you got any insight on that one? We actually have Michael Smyer is physically here, which is amazing. You know, he's gained weight since I've seen him last. I'm teasing.
Because he hasn't.
But, you know, Mike would probably be the one person who could probably have memorized how to go into Amazon Web Services and, you know, spin up
an instance.
What you need to do is far more important is that understand that can happen, because those are the questions you're going to run into in Network Plus and Security Plus. The elasticity of cloud-based solutions.
Right.
All right. I know, and Michael Smyer most definitely added, and it will cost you money. He is absolutely correct. You want us to spin up another server there in some, you know, well, not Hawaii. Who cares about that, right? Tolwit. But, you know, yeah, something in the EU sector to spin up. That's a zone, I think is the term that Amazon likes to use. That's my dream course. If I was going to do, first of all, my first dream course would be old school Cisco. I think that Cisco instruction is more confusing than it's ever been before, which blows me away. Because
they've been practicing this for a long time.
Right? You know? And it's like, oh, if you don't have a CCIE, then you can't teach introduction people. I was like, I don't know if that's a real good idea. Maybe you ought to have people who aren't quite in those lofty areas, you know? I will speak to you in the original Latin. You know, it's like, I don't know if that's a good idea. But it does seem to me, and if you're aware of people out there who have Cisco instruction, I don't mean to insult anybody, and I certainly haven't looked at everything, but it's becoming more esoteric and stranger. iOS is pretty clever, you know? Once you get a few basic concepts down, and it seems like people are forgetting things like executive mode and stuff like that, or they glance through it through the instruction and don't really give people a moment to consider those types of things. That'd be one, but the other one I'd really like to do, don't hold this to me, is, if, sorry.
English is his
Stop.
friend.
Stop it. Is sort of like if you look at it, you know, IBM versus Amazon versus Google cloud solutions, is that they all have different terms for the same stuff.
It's confusing.
And it's very confusing right now. And I think Amazon is doing it intentionally. Are they doing it out of evil? Of course not. It's just they're growing so fast and evolving so quickly that, you know, to have people who are able to stay up with this or to be introduced into what is quickly turning into a priesthood. And by priesthood, I mean we get so good at something that we start leaving everybody else behind. That I think it's a problem. And, well, the biggest problem we run into, I'm a victim of this myself. I'm an AWS guy. If it ain't S3, it ain't for me, you know?
Right.
And I have you actually jumped into, say, IBM solutions personally? I haven't either.
Yeah.
Well, that's wrong, you know? That's just wrong. You know, and it's because I'm a little bit more comfortable with, you know, Amazon instances and zones and, you know.
Sure. And that's the terminology we used in Security Plus. And
well, it's because Security Plus is basically
Amazon.
An Amazon fanboy
Yeah.
certification.
Very
Is that
much
okay
so.
that we said that?
If not, we've already said it.
If a thunderbolt that says CompTIA on the side hits me or Scott, you'll know what happened.
Right?
But I think I think there could be a lot of demand for those types of things.
So this isn't Ask Me Anything. So Paradox at 225 took that, took your word. Hey, Mike, just wondering the story behind that purple hat in the A+ videos.
Purple hat? I don't remember a purple hat.
Do you mean the fez?
I have so many hats, guys. What, are you going to go look for a purple hat?
Yes.
There's actually a huge box of hats over there, Scott. I've been reshooting the Security Plus videos, and we brought... Here, just bring the whole damn box over. These guys will get a kick out of it.
Language, sir. Language.
What did I say? What word did I say that was inappropriate? The fez, everybody knows the fez. A couple of tabards.
Really?
It's
Really, Mike?
hilarious. I've been looking for this. Why about it? Come on, how can you not love a hat like this, dude? Seriously? It's my Santa Claus costume. Oh, these guys have seen all these hats
And this
before.
is your Austin Powers.
No, that is my. Here, you guys want to get terrified? I don't know if this is a good idea.
On live internet? Oh, wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Reminds you of times that I've had hair in the past. And where's the hair on a pear? Nowhere, mon frere. All right, now hang on. You missed it. You actually missed one. Crooked JS. Hey, all. Are there any good resources to learn threat hunting? Threat hunting. That's probably not a bad idea. So when I talk about threat hunting, most of the time I talk about open source intelligence type sources. Mm-hmm. We definitely have some great stuff in the new Security Plus book by Mike Meyers and Scott Jernigan at your favorite bookstores. But that could be an interesting thing to do, to make a more aggressive listing than what's required by Security Plus.
Sure.
I don't have an instantaneous one. I've got a few sources in my Security Plus book, but nothing that I could just hand to you. Andrew Hutz, is this the most well-behaved group on the internet? No, Dave is just muting people like crazy.
So Dave hasn't actually banned anybody. I have.
The day's young, man.
I know. The day is young.
Tolowitz like, let me in there. The purple hat. Paradox, I wish I knew what that purple hat. Is that the great Mike Strami? No, that's gold.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
which one it is.
All right, so we do have... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Alex is on. Hi, Alex. Here, come, you got to do it with me. No? Am I the only one who's got a candle? Hi, Alex. Como se llama le? All right. It's not cursing. That's a nice phrase in Italian.
I believe you, Mike. I have every faith in you.
All right. Paradox. 226.
Okay.
I work for the cybersecurity director of my college. Good. And he told me that when I finish the BAS degree, bachelor's degree, I assume, I should try to find entry-level network job with that A+. Yeah, I got to tell you, especially if you have a 4-year degree, help desk is probably something you can skip. I mean, that's really, if you want to talk about what defines people without degrees versus people with degrees in IT, is usually people with bachelor's degrees tend to have the ability to maybe skip some of the more onerous entry-level jobs.
Sure.
You know, I mean, you're the ones trying to pay off all those student loans anyway. We might as well give you, you know,
Right.
one of those $20 an hour jobs.
Because then it'll only take 10 years to pay off the student loans. Where are you at?
Where are you at? Where are you at? There you go. 227 Paradox. So, cybersecurity, bachelor's degree, A+ number. Good Lord. Paradox, you're literally the kind of person I'd say don't do this. So, Paradox, you're self-limiting by saying, well, I need this degree and then all these other certifications. You don't. Go get an entry-level job. Now, look, Paradox, and I don't know you from Adam, and I'm not, in no way am I trying to offend you.
Or Eve.
What?
Or Eve.
Eve?
The name like Paradox.
Yeah, but it's spelled with OX, not AUX. Or you're unfamiliar with the feminine version.
My.
The bottom line is getting work. The only reason that you can say to me I'm not working is because you're actively in an accredited school. That's the one thing that I'll cut slack on, is that I'm pursuing my computer science degree at, I don't know, name some unimpressive school. I don't know, one in Texas.
The University of Texas?
No, that's a great school. No, not great. I don't know, something like an Amarillo or...
Now we're going to start bashing other cities in Texas?
No, I was just going to say Texas Tech, Red Raiders,
Yeah, because only those...
Do you know where Michael Smyer got his bachelor's degree?
Do you know where Dave Rush's son goes?
Oh, all right.
My brother and sister?
Whoa, some of the finest people I know go to the...
That's right.
Harumph. Just trying to goof around a little bit. Okay, Lewis Arnold at 227. Hi, Mike. Looking to start studying for the Security Plus soon. Okay. Do you know if Total Sem are doing videos?
Yes.
I don't want to kill him.
No. Yes. Mike just finished shooting a bunch of videos. We have a SME coming in as well to do this. An instructor named Dan Lachance from Canada. Who started shooting his part of it this week.
Yeah.
So we should have that out. The shooting only takes a couple of weeks.
We shoot very quickly. The post-production is what slows us down.
It takes another 6 weeks or so. So we'll have it out this summer.
Couple of months.
Yep.
Couple of months. Derp NZ. I prefer my shopping bags with ivory handles.
Right.
Love you, baby. Dave Rush, bring your own baby seal skin bags to Whole Foods. They're impressed that you recycle, reuse.
Wow, let's just move on to other questions.
Oh no, come on! I want to work this baby seal thing down to the dirt. I actually bring the baby seal still alive into the Whole Foods. Okay.
Wow.
You're so. It's okay, Scott.
Politically correct.
All of your food comes from little plastic bags with styrofoam.
All my food comes
I got in big trouble.
That
All right,
grow
so
from the earth.
this is where I got in trouble. So, a friend of mine had a cat that was really end of life. It was time for this cat to go, okay? And this is where I'm showing me being old, okay? So, when I was a young person, if your pets were sick, you took them out yourself. And now everybody takes them to a veterinarian to put a dog down or something. It just seems cruel to me. I don't know. Gonna take it to some veterinary place where they're uncomfortable. Leave them in the backyard. Whatever. I'm old.
So he's actually talking about
Really,
spewing.
I like it. Oh, you didn't change the topic. When Scott Jernigan goes out and I'm like, blah, 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 and Scott's like, let's talk about anything else. That's usually a clue that line, Mike, step over.
Yeah, well, it happens.
I don't care. Derp NZ, are you fluent in Spanish? Sí. Yo tengo un mustacho muy guapo. ¿Dónde está el Juan? Juan está en la biblioteca. Hola, Juan. Hola, Maria. Dude, everybody in Texas speaks a lot more Spanish than you think. Am I fluent? I'm most certainly not fluent. And the more you leave me around a bunch of people who speak Spanish, the better my Spanish gets. It usually takes me 2 or 3 days, and I can do pretty good. But no, if I'm not forced to speak it, it doesn't.
It fades.
It doesn't come to me as fast. Mike, stop drinking coffee, please. Did I scare off Alice? Oh, I did. I scared her off.
So 229.
Wow. Go ahead.
Arif Hassan from Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Nice. Great. Thanks to Total Seminars and Mike Meyers for providing such an excellent A+ and Network Plus course.
Thank you very much. In fact, I may be in Bhutan late this summer.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Like literally, I had to look. Bhutan is one of those countries that I know of it, but does that mean I knew where it was exactly?
Right.
So Bhutan doesn't even have 1 million people. All right. And it's about 150 miles from Mount Everest.
And here's a totally weird fact.
Yes?
My undergraduate, at the University of Texas at El Paso,
Was in Bhutan?
the entire campus architecture is Bhutanese. It's absolutely gorgeous. Seriously.
I don't believe you.
Well, there we go.
No, I believe you, of course.
'Cause I'm known for being a serial liar.
Nah, no, you're more of a you're not serial, more like an eggs and bacon liar.
Ah, okay, there you go.
Nigel, it's a class now if Nigel's here.
Nigel's been here.
We need the knowledge first in order to get the job. So finish studying something first and then get a job. Nigel, that's not true. There are huge numbers of entry-level jobs out there where they expect zero knowledge. They expect maybe some, they don't want to teach you what an IP address is or
Right.
things like that. But Nigel's like, well, I'm inferring by what he said here. So Nigel, I'm not putting words in your mouth, bud. But it's that you don't have to know very much. Most entry-level jobs are, honestly, the skill sets people need to bring to entry-level jobs that are rare: dependability,
Yeah.
communication,
Yep.
keep it, eye contact, integrity.
Right.
Those are what people are looking for.
Absolutely. So Silas is talking about the struggles getting a job. So keep plugging away, man. It'll happen.
Yeah, Silas, if you don't do between 100 and to 200 resumes, you're messing up. You've got to really get yourself out there. All right, so what we probably ought to do, Scott, is it's coming up to 3 o'clock there.
255, yeah.
So what I was thinking is we could probably do a quick thing on digital signatures. So the question that I had, and I don't remember who asked it on Monday, was how exactly do digital signatures work? Mm-hmm. And so what I want to do, I've put together a completely unrehearsed PowerPoint animation.
And it was our buddy CLW Chang.
Was it CLW Chang who asked that question? Mm-hmm. So what I thought I could do is do a drill down. Now, I need to warn you guys right now, we are going to go deeper than anything you're going to see on any CompTIA certification. But it is fascinating. And after doing this, once I get the animation a little bit tighter, there's a couple of pops and skips in the record, I think it could move on to be a core piece for a new certification presentation. Okay. So this is the first time we're going to see this. So let me light this up for you guys, and you guys tell me what you think as we talk about. I just want to make sure it works. Yay! All right.
Awesome.
All right, so here we go. First of all, so I want to make sure we're comfortable with the idea between public and private keys real quick. So we have a public key and a private key, and in this case, I'm showing the RSA algorithm as like this little machine, okay? So we're talking about asymmetric encryption here, obviously, with public and private keys. So traditionally, what we do is we take the public key, we plug it into the algorithm, then we take a chunk of clear text, we run it through the algorithm, and it comes out as some form of ciphertext. So that's pretty easy. So then, using the same thing, we can then take the ciphertext and then plug in the private key. And then with the private key, we could go ahead and run the ciphertext, and it should come out as a clear text. So this concept of public-private key has been around forever. So we always talk about somebody has to create, and there's always a program on just about any operating system in existence, some way to spin up a public-private key asymmetric key pair.
Okay.
Every operating system has it, okay? Now, how this key pair gets tucked into either encrypting web pages or emails or executable files or whatever it might be, that there's some variance in there, okay? But the basic concept is that you spin up a key pair, you take the public key, and you throw that public key out into the wild, and other people have to encrypt things which are then brought to you, okay?
And they encrypt things using your public key.
Which you hand them.
Right.
Because everybody's got the algorithm, right? Kirchhoff's principle and all that?
Right.
Okay, so what I want you guys to do is watch this, though. All right, so what we're going to do here is, so we always got a public key, and we always pass them out to anyone, and they're only used to encrypt, right? However, private keys, those are never passed out. In fact, we lock them down within our operating systems one way or another, and they're only used to decrypt items that were encrypted by somebody else who has our public key. Well, that's not absolutely true. The reality is that either key can be public or private.
Okay.
The keys are really interchangeable. Who becomes the public key or who becomes the private key is decided by whatever your key generation program, whatever your, not even your algorithm, your crypto suite or whatever it might be. So the important thing is that there's nothing particularly public about a public key or private about a private key. It's just however they decide to use it, right? And whatever gets chosen to be the public key will always be the public key. And whatever's going to be the private key is always going to be the private key. Because the moment you start stirring those up, well, you're in trouble. Okay.
Your encryption
doesn't stay have integrity. Okay.
That's right.
All right. So anyway, so let's go ahead and I don't remember the order of these slides. Okay. So you could encrypt with a private key and decrypt with a public key. You can do that. This is never done during normal encryption. But there is one place where this does happen, and that is digital signatures. All right, so what I got here is here's a guy, this is evil guy, and he's got a public key in his hand. So the problem is that this guy hands me this public key. How do I know he's the person who actually has the private key associated with it? Okay. So do I trust this person? So a digital signature just confirms that the public key you're getting is coming from the person who controls the legitimate private key. Well, technically, actually, if we get more into certificates, we could say it is coming from the person who has the private key, which may or may not be legitimate. But so we'll build from there.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so let's keep going, guys. Okay, so here we go. So we got a public key and a private key, and we've got, what are their names?
Alice and Bob.
Alice and Ted. So Alice and Bob. Okay, we'll go there. So that's Bob there on the left, Alice on the right. So in these types of situations, what we do is we send a public key over, right? Then Alice can do whatever encrypting she wants to do, and then we decrypt with the private key. And we're going to skip that one.
Wow, that slide blew up nicely.
Yeah, it's not really important. But now you have to give a headshot. So what we're going to do... I really do. I try to rehearse these things. So,
and you do so well.
Thank you. So, what takes place with a digital signature is that we take advantage of this one weird circumstance where we can encrypt with a private key, and hand something to that person. So you never give a public key by itself. There's very few situations in life where a public key is by itself. You're putting it with something.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something with the public and private keys that allow us to have confidence that the person who handed us this public key is the person who has the legitimate private key.
Ah, okay.
All right.
That's important.
Yeah. So let me see where this guy's going. All right. So let's go ahead and get back into this. So let's say we start off, we got a web server. All right. So this web server wants to be able to do stuff that's encrypted. So the web server has a public and a private key associated with it. And there's a copy of the web page that we have that's coming off of that web server. And so now I want you to watch this very carefully, guys. So number one, what this web server is going to do, okay? The web server is going to take a hash of that introductory web page, that first web page. So he's going to run the web page through a hash, and the hash grinds it out, and we get this hash value, okay? So we've basically hashed the web page. Now watch what happens. So we take that hash, now we change the hash, and we're going to run it through an RSA, a asymmetric encryption, except this time, now watch what we're going to use. So we're going to bring the private key on board, and we're going to take that hash value, and we're going to run it through the RSA, and we're going to come out with an encrypted hash value. That encrypted hash value is so we took the web page and we generated a hash from that web page,
Okay.
and then we encrypted it with the private key. So the thing is people, when people talk about like certificates and stuff, they always think about web pages, and that's absolutely a common place. But certificates are all over the place. We see certificates on email. We see certificates on executable programs. We see certificates all over the place. And what I just did there, guys, is I can take any piece of binary data, whether it's a web page or an email or an executable program, and I can hash it, and then I can take that hash and using the private key, I can encrypt it. All right. So now I have this encrypted hash value. Now watch what happens with this value. All right. So what we're going to do is, here we go. All right. So now what's going to happen is, let's bring in the web client. So we're going to pass three things to that web client. We're going to pass them the web page. We're going to pass them the public key. And we're going to pass them that encrypted hash value, which, by the way, is the digital signature. Okay?
Right.
There's more to it, but we'll start with that. Okay? So these three pieces get passed to the web client. They don't just get the web page. They get the public key. They get the encrypted hash value. So what they can do now, and your browser does this automatically, is we take the web page, and we got the public key and the encrypted hash value. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and hash that web page. And out is going to come some hash value, okay? So that's pretty much what we just did. It's the same hash that we did on the server side, okay?
Okay.
So let's keep that hash value off to the side. And then we're going to take the encrypted hash value that was handed to us, and then we're going to use the public key that was given to us. Remember, the private key encrypted it. We're going to use the public key, which is going to decrypt it. So we plug in the plug in the public key. Alliteration is never my fault. So we plug that in, we run that encrypted hash value, and we decrypt it. And if we've done it right, we get a hash value. So what's happened here is as the web server, I pass them a encrypted hash value, right? So they decrypt it. They run their own hash on the same web page and compare what they decrypted to the regular hash, because anybody can hash a web page. And if it's the same, they know for a fact that the private key associated with the public key they were handed to them is whoever they're talking to on the other side. Now that doesn't alleviate if that's evil Mike and things like that, right? And that's the big difference between digital certificates versus digital signatures versus certificates, is having that third person sign into it.
Trust.
That's the big difference.
Awesome.
And yes, if you're watching my Security Plus 501, there is an episode where I have that backwards.
This is true.
It is true. And I've gotten a lot of stuff over the years. So let's see, Scott, let's first see if we got any questions on what I just did there.
I think we were at like 225.
I see lots of @ signs.
@ signs are great. That means you guys are chatting.
And Andre, my favorite Belgian, is... So I've actually developed a skill set. When I see Tolowit or Andre, I can just kind of glaze and just zoom right over it.
The only thing, and of course the sad part about being here in the studio with you, Mike, is I don't get to laugh as much at Telowit's jokes. And that makes me sad.
That's true. And Dave Rush, that's a check for $70,000. Keep it. And a summons. Keep that too. Yes. And for the record, Dave, that line is not from Eurotrip. That is from Caddyshack.
So we're looking for questions. Oh, 235, Silas found the stream with Jessica Dickerson. It's a great show.
It is a great
and
show.
Chock full of tons of information. So,
and in fact, we're trying to get Jessica Dickerson to come back. So,
and you know, if you have other questions after you watch the show, feel free to email. Send an email to Mike.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot all about that. Here's my contact information for those who are so inclined. So my email is michaelm@totalsem.com. If you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe on Steam. And then Desweds is just about my nom de plume for darn near anything you want. I'm trying, I was thought we could have a little competition, but oh, here it comes. All right. All right, Scott, go ahead and dig us up some more questions there, man.
I'm digging.
I had
Okay,
fun.
so at 2:30, go ahead.
No, I had fun with that digital signatures. I mean, you guys can tell it's, you know, there's a work in progress there.
The animation is brilliant, Mike.
I like those animations. No, here's the problem, and this is the biggest issue I run into is, you know, so many animations in our business, and I will meet animators, and they're like artists, and they're like, well, we're going to make the skin shiny and put clouds in the sky. I'm like, no, I want it to go from here to here.
Right.
I don't want clouds or shininess or, you know,
go with simplicity.
faux leather. You know, I just want the box to go from here to here.
Oh, but in this case, you want sealskin leather. So I went there.
Pre-bashed sealskin.
I went there. So at 2:38, how do I pronounce that name? Pujan?
Pujan Kavi. Don't make it hard.
What does active mean in a load balancer versus active passive?
Let me Google that for you. I don't know. I get nervous when I hear stuff like that. Is that, I don't think that active passing, isn't that a clustering thing as opposed to load balancing? Oh, God. I cannot quote it instantly. I'm going to skip it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Write it
How's
down.
that for an honest answer?
Write it down.
Well, I need to look it up because, you know, like even some of the stuff we did on digital certificates was deeper than the certifications go.
Right.
But I will look into it and I'll have an answer. Keep in mind the answer might be I disagree with the question, but I will... that just does not come up as a objective that rings a bell to me. How about you, Scott?
It's definitely a security plus.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, there you go. I don't know. You want to take it on, Killer?
Nope.
All right.
Not off the top of my head.
I don't feel so bad then. I will take a look into it. And all right, fine. You know what? Let's make it a Monday thing. You sure that's a...
Absolutely.
Well, then I apologize for not having every single objective of every single CompTIA certification memorized in my brain. But we will put that on Wednesday along with the trim thing that I didn't
On
get
Monday.
to. What did I say?
Wednesday.
Monday.
Today is Wednesday.
Monday. More fun.
This is interesting question. Okay, at 2:41, Edwin asks, if I pass my Security Plus, I will be completely done with procedures and theories. What is CompTIA's most practical training?
All right, so Edwin, first of all, if you pass your Security Plus, you won't even begin to be past procedures and theories. First of all, neither the term procedures nor the word theories are what I would call IT security terms. So, Edwin, you're using your own terminology, and there is nothing wrong with that. In a vacuum, you should always use your own terminology. That's a good thing. Edwin, the other thing I'm going to tell you is that you can't even imagine the depth of knowledge that is IT security. IT security alone has hundreds of certifications out there. I had someone tell me it was 700. Because that's what we always used to say was that the total number of certifications out there. For years, I always used the number 700, right?
Right.
But a source that I trust a lot, a particular female who works for a competitor of ours with a very strong Southern accent,
Yes.
used that term, the number 700, and I did some counting, quick counting, and I could say 300.
Wow.
So yeah, it was interesting. No, you ain't even begun to get started, amigo.
But the key is though, and he also follows up momentarily after that with, is Linux Plus practical, practice-oriented, or even more dry matter? That's a great line. But all of these things feed into.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Skills,
yes.
right?
All right. So Edwin, here's the problem: is that years ago I used to work for here in the USA, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. And when I first started with these guys, this is pre 9/11, and there was this one guy I'm teaching a class, and the guy looks at me, he goes, because I'm talking about, registry and all this stuff, and the guy looks at me like this, he's like, I don't want to hear about any of that garbage. Just tell me where the log files are. And I was like, wow, it doesn't work that way. You have to understand. It would be like somebody saying, I don't really want to, teach me how to play chess. You've heard this analogy, right?
I
And
heard
so,
one of your analogies before.
yeah, that's true. So when somebody's playing chess, so I'm teaching them chess. I go, well, here's a pawn, and here's a rook, and here's a knight. And they're like, no. I don't want to hear about any of that dry stuff. Just tell me how to get a checkmate. And it's like, dude, it's all part of the package. People aren't talking about this stuff to, irritate you on examinations. It's part of the issue. And my challenge to you is that, and I'm not even saying that's how you feel. I don't know you, and I apologize if I'm being offensive, but there's a lot of great information that's in there. And Security Plus really is a big separator because the CompTIA A Plus and Net Plus are more what I think he might be calling practical. But Security Plus is the first time. I mean, if you want to make a lot of money in IT security, you'll rarely actually configure a router or do any of that kind of stuff. The people who make the big money, the people in the governance area and those types of things, they hire little people to do those kinds of jobs. And so understanding some of these dry topics, risk management, things like, disaster recovery, business continuity, that sounds boring because, you're probably a nerd like me and I want to see a leak in the dike and stick my finger in it, right? But no, really, if you want to make money, you go get a committee of people. Go, so what if we ever had a dike and it leaked? What would we do about it?
We would call Andre.
We would apply security control.
We would call Andre.
Yeah, Andre.
It's a dike. Come on.
And you're giving me trouble? A dike, that holds back water.
I don't know what. Do you know what ECES certification is off the top of your head?
I don't. Can you show it to me? CLW Chang, I do not know what ECES security is. I got to tell you, the one greatest thing about this live stream.
Yeah. We learn tons.
Yeah. ECES. Oh.
EC Council. Oh, of course.
Sorry. Okay, now I know what you're talking. I don't have all the acronyms for all the EC Council stuff memorized.
So at 2:44, CLW Chang asked, do you guys have any recommendation on how to learn a little bit more about cryptography without having to go into excruciating math detail? To study for the EC Council.
Well, I think that everybody has the black box when it comes to knowledge, right? there's a certain point where you drill down and things are interesting. But if you go down far enough, there's a certain point where the maths or whatever it might be or the complexity gets to the point where you start losing people. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I call that the black box. There's a point where it's like, anything deeper than this, I don't care. And with cryptography in particular, to actually go through AES cryptography, for example, it's painful. It is painful. I'm not going to lie. Even in my Security Plus, I've got this wonderful episode where I'm using DES, which is the earlier block encryption, to AES, and we actually go through the process, and it is noxious and painful. But that's the reason I do it, right? Because I like, okay, so you really
Let's do some math.
no, I really want to dismantle this carburetor. Okay, dude, here we go.
Here we go.
And here's all. And most of the time, people's eyes are rolling back in their head anyway. It's not going to make you a better tech, right?
Right.
But it does fulfill criteria number 4, and that is sometimes I have to teach you things you don't need to know. Because if I don't do that, and C.W. Chang sounds like one of these guys, it's like, you know, me and C.W. Chang, I can tell you right now, you and me hanging out in a bar and talking, we'd have a blast.
Or in a coffee shop, you know, just saying. Mike.
All I'm trying to say is that there's a certain point where you have to recognize your black box, okay? And that can be hard because as a nerd, especially as a nerd who's got a big learning curve in front of you, you want to understand everything. And there's a certain point where, you know, linear algebra or quantum mechanics or differential equations is going to stop. And, you know, then it's just, you know, a matter of the amount of mathematics, you know. So I think it's interesting.
So at 2:50, Josh, where are we? 3:20 already. 2:50, Josh, dope. I was replacing the battery in my laptop and discovered that after opening his laptop for the first time in 4 years, half the fan is blocked by dust. Would that be a good thing, Mike, or a bad thing?
What's more interesting is why you have that much dust. There's probably, number one, if I saw that much dust, I'd assume someone's smoking. That's usually the first thing to look at. Well, the problem is...
Or they have cats.
Well, there's a difference, okay? Cigarette smoke is wet. It's just your breath, right? And that smoke picks up stuff out of the air like you wouldn't believe. And the moment you have any kind of fan, oh, come on, you've seen this. People like they have oscillating fans of smoke or whatever it is. Where that picks up, or you see, and look, if you smoke, well, quit, okay? But trust me, I understand. That film you see on people's walls, I can tell cigarette smoke almost instantly. Pets and things like that, to me, aren't nearly that bad. Pet dander and things like that, it's dry, so it tends to go through systems and doesn't stick as badly.
So the desiccated lizards that I found while troubleshooting that client's case.
Well, you got to remember that lizard initially was wet. Before it got desiccated. I've got some wonderful pictures of things people have found in computers.
Oh my gosh.
Snakes and rats and
absolutely.
Mice,
Absolutely.
Cockroaches, all kinds of stuff.
All right, where are we at? We are slowly but surely making our way up to the numbers. They were definitely ripping off.
Scott, look at mine. Nope. Okay. So how are we doing on time? So it's almost 3:20.
Did you want to do a contest?
I think we should knock out a contest. Does anybody want to do a contest today? Anybody want free stuff? Seriously, guys, I need someone to type into the live chat. Yeah, let's do a contest. So a couple of rules on the... Well, Scott, why don't you do the rules on the contest while...
So a couple of rules on the contest. One, they're not fair. That's just inherently the way it works. Two, Mike is going to show a question on the screen, and you need to write the answer out. Don't just type in a letter. So write the answer out. And three, the person who gets the answer correct, who shows up in my live stream first, is the one who wins. And that's going to depend on a lot of geography and just distance. So type fast. If you want to just play in the contest and don't want to win, just type fast, do your answer, and say, pass it on. Got it?
Okay, so first of all, Siegfried Vanderwee, is it going to be A+? Now, we're going to do Network Plus today. And then the second question at 322 is Danny Vossen. Is there a chance sharing a coupon or promo code for the original Total Sims and Total Set Tester Practice Quest bundle for CompTIA A+? Danny, we're about to give it away, all right? Whoever wins this contest can then send an email and you get a choice between A+ or Net Plus or Security Plus. Just because I'm doing a Network Plus question, that you get to choose. So Danny, win this competition. How many people are online right now? Like 60?
I don't know.
Neither do I. So 70, whatever. So Danny, the answer to your question is yes. Just win this competition. All right. In fact, this question's almost too.
So the competition will be for A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, practice questions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So where you guys want? In fact, this question's probably too easy. All right, guys, get your fingers on the keyboard because
Here we go.
here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go now. It's 802.11n, guys. Is it 6.3, 900, 5, or 2.4? Notice it says something in there. I'm not giving them any answers. I have to figure out. Here we go. CLW Chang is passing. Thank you, sir. I say it's Carla Rain. What do you say?
I think you're probably right.
Yeah. No, you know what? Because somebody did it. Look how nice they did that.
But with a typo.
All right. Fine. Okay, so we got a winner here. So now the question is, pick one, Scott.
Well, CLW Chang was first.
But he said pass it.
Not only got the answer right, but also typed in the word pass it on. So
He types like this.
Yep. So the second person who got it correct, because it's 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz,
Yes.
that would be Carla Rain.
All right, so we're going to give it to Carla Rain?
I think we're going to give it to Carla Rain.
All right, we'll give it to Carla Rain. Carla Rain, congratulations to you. You have won the competition for today. So, Carly, keep in mind that in order to get your prize, you have to send an email to somebody. You have to send an email to kathyy at total7.com. Carla, don't panic. Scott Jernigan's typing all this out for you. So it's Kathy with K, Kathyy at total7.com. So, Carla, there's 3 things you have to do. Number 1, you have to tell them I'm the winner. You got to send the email. Number 2, in that email, you have to say, what do you want? Do you want A+, Net Plus, or Security Plus? The other thing you have to do is you have to say what your YouTube name is. So your YouTube name has to be in there, and that's it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So congratulations to you, Carla Wayne. You are the winner. That was fun.
That is fun. Giving away free stuff is cool.
So it's
Mike.
actually, it's slowing down a little bit here. You know what? Let's do one more competition. Guys, we're going to squeeze in one more competition. It seems like the this is a very, very good question. This is a very, very, very good question. All right, we're going to do another question. You guys ready? This is a Network Plus question. Da-da-ba-da. All right, so everybody ready? Here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Which Windows command? Sorry. I swear
You can do this.
I didn't do it.
You can do it, Mike.
It's not my fault. Which Windows command prompt utility generates output like this? Default server, blah, 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 blah. Address, da, 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 da. Which one of these 4 things generated that? I think I know what the answer is. Let's see what people type in.
Dun, 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 da, 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 dun, dun. Somebody asked for it.
All right, so we got lots of answers in there.
Yep.
All right. So I'm pretty sure the answer here is NSLOOKUP. Let me run the assistance window, check your answer. Answer B is correct. So it's NSLOOKUP. Yeah, once I saw the default server with a fully qualified domain name and an IP address, pretty much guaranteed it was an NSLOOKUP answer. Okay, so this is a particularly good question because especially on the Network Plus, A+ to some extent, but the Network Plus as well, is CompTIA does a lot of, here's the output, what did I type to do that?
Right.
And that can either be PowerShell / Command Shell, or that can be Linux. So anyway, so this is a great example of a good question. So Scott, the answer is NSLOOKUP. Do we have a first winner?
Oh. Wow.
I say my man Edwin. Edwin is the winner.
Edwin, absolutely.
Edwin, big round of applause to you, amigo. Well done. Edwin, you are the second winner today of our practice questions. In order to take...
Edwin, he's passing.
Edwin. Edwin. So YL?
YL would be the next one.
All right, so YL, you are the winner. Well done. Edwin, thank you for passing. I always appreciate that. YL, you are the winner. So YL, in order to get your prize, you have to send an email to kathyy, that's Kathy with a K, KATHYY, at totalsem.com. Don't panic. Scott Jernigan's typing all this into the chat window for you. And YL, what you have to do is, number 1, you have to say, what do you want? Do you want the CompTIA A+ practice questions, Network Plus, or Security Plus? Number 2, YL, you have to make sure that whatever your YouTube name is shows up in the email, okay? And by the way, guys, if you forget to do these things, Kathy's been told just to ignore it. So I'm just assuming these are smart people who can do...
Who actually want practice questions?
Yeah. So
Free practice questions.
Free. All right.
Are you dying?
It's okay. We're all dying, Scott. It's just a matter of degree. But anyway, YL, congratulations to you. Well done. All right. So let's see if we got any more questions. I'm going to look for... Guys, this is the last call on questions here. Andrew Seed, I really wish to win. Andrew, come back on Monday, man. We do this Monday and Wednesdays. You can see how many people pass on this because we have so many people winning over and over again. Andrew, just show up. Love to have you back, and you can always ask questions in here as well. All right, so it does look like questions have dried up. So what I want to do, first of all, if I missed a question, I apologize.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, if we missed a question, absolutely.
Yeah, we always catch it again. Also, do keep in mind there is a Discord channel. Scott Jernigan, can I impose on you to...
Yep.
You should just have that a little text file on your desktop.
I do. On my other
Well,
desktop.
now you have to do it here too.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we have a Discord channel. Let me rephrase that. I don't have a Discord channel. Total Seminars does not have a Discord channel. This Discord channel was started by my buddy Jose Braden, and it is his channel, which we have been known to drop in from time to time and say hello. It's a great place to drop in, especially if you have more complicated questions or it's really kind of hard to do it on the chat window. You're more than welcome to drop in. And it's a fun, slightly earthier group, but what?
Earthier, that's a good word.
I was going to say salt of the earth, but Thomas Robinson says, hi, Mike. Hello, Thomas Robinson. And smell the glove. Not even going to touch that one.
Your vids are great.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
It was praise.
If the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Oh God, he's speaking MacBooks. Maven Feliciano at 332. External volumes such as phone not showing on a MacBook. What may be the possible reasons? Are there other methods of discovering them? So it's my understanding. What are we doing?
So, just to let you know, we do actually have Michael Smyer, our resident.
Maven, do me a favor. That is a great question to throw into the Discord channel. There's going to be a bunch of people. Michael, don't go away yet. Don't go. No, hang on. There's a bunch of people on the Discord channel who are much better at Macs than I am, including Mr. Smyer back there. Please come over to the Discord channel and ask that question. Also, do keep in mind, if you have a camera and a microphone and speakers, that always makes it more fun, but you don't have to. Discord does just fine with text as well, but we are more than glad. So, guys, here's Michael Smyer. Come on in.
Alice is yelling at you.
Hi, Alex. How you doing?
So, Michael Smyer is a real person.
Pujan Kavi says, invite has expired.
It's okay. Click it anyway.
Does that make sense to you?
It does. It does. Or just do a search.
Does that have to do with Discord?
Just do a search for the Total Seminars, unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel.
So
And a link will come up.
Punjab, you're okay. Don't worry about that. Just click through it, and you'll still be able to get through. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for dropping in. All right, guys. So I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for the day. Friday, Dave Rush is going to be doing things.
Gaming on a
Gaming on a Raspberry Pi. That's
which is epic.
yeah, because that Minesweeper is a tough game, you know.
Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man.
Yes, that's right. What was the old Windows 95, the pinball game? Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Space Cadet Pinball.
Space.
How do you keep that in your brain?
I played a lot as a kid.
Unmarried.
Space,
All right.
Space Cadet Pinball.
All right, so absolutely. So do show up for Dave Rush AMA right here on Fridays at 2 o'clock here at the Total Seminars channel on YouTube. And other than that, we're going to say good night to you guys. And I will see you guys on Monday. Topics are going to be load balancing, active versus passive. And I'm going to go ahead and get to that trim video, which poor teacher Russell has been now asking for almost 2 weeks.
But teacher Russell just showed up. So, oh yeah, we covered that in great detail.
That's right.
Teacher
So
Russell.
we covered all of the trim stuff in great. We didn't, teacher Russell. I didn't get to it. I was so hung up doing digital signatures that I wasn't able to get to it. So
you didn't miss it.
this is like that Jimmy Kimmel where they're always bumping what's his name?
Guillermo.
No, whoever it was. Siegfried Vanderwee. What is that Raspberry Pi stuff y'all are talking about? Siegfried.
That's a good question.
Siegfried, on Fridays, my buddy Dave Rush does an AMA that concentrates on Raspberry Pis. Now, this is not a Raspberry Pi class per se. Dave looks for things where very cheap systems like a Raspberry Pi can save you money as you're studying either A+, Net+, or Security+. So that's Dave's goal. I'm not saying he hits that every time, but, you know.
It's good.
Yeah.
So a Raspberry Pi in a short or slightly more descriptive fashion is a tiny system on a chip. You gave it to me on Monday.
Did you take it?
I did.
You took my Raspberry Pi?
I took it, man, like a boss. It's a tiny, tiny computer that's inexpensive, created by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Like a mid-range Raspberry Pi.
It's a system on a chip.
$25. Runs versions of Linux. It's a serious computing device. And those of us who buy it, the money goes back to the foundation, where they can then turn that around and give away Raspberry Pis to people who can't afford them. So it's a win-win all the way around.
And they pack those in baby seal bags.
With ivory handles.
Ivory handles. Pew, 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 pew. All right. So anyway, that's what the Raspberry Pi stuff is all about. All right, so guys, we're out the door here. Somebody's going to be on the Discord channel today. And I will be seeing you guys on Monday. So until then, this is your Uncle Mike saying good night. Good night. And we're off.